Good evening, everyone. I'm student meteorologist Michael Onden, and welcome to your Tuesday edition of FSU Weather. Now, our headlines for tonight, we're going to continue with this typical summer pattern. It's been like this for the last few weeks, and we're going to continue it for the rest of the work week. Meanwhile, if you don't get those storms, it is going to be muggy and hot. And we also are watching the tropics. There's a system down towards the Caribbean, and we'll go more into that as we go throughout the show. Satellite and radar, you can see all those summertime storms starting to die off as we are losing the daytime heating, and that will continue as we go into the nighttime hours. But for tonight, it is going to be very muggy still. 20% chance earlier in the evening, but then that will die off as we head overnight. And as we go into your 3-day forecast, the summer weather just continues, and we are not seeing any changes anytime soon. Let's send it off to Colby with a first look at Tallahassee.
Thanks, Michael. Now let's look locally. That time lapse there, this was around noon. Look at those clear skies. We started to have some clouds move through. They meandered through the afternoon, but we stayed predominantly dry, unlike yesterday where we had the rain move through. A lot of that rain stayed off to our west there, but currently 86. We do have a thunderstorm there in the vicinity. Winds out of the west at 7. That's out at the airport though, so that's a little further to the south and west than what we're used to here in Tallahassee as far as closer to downtown. 86 the current temperature here. Wow, look at the greens off to the west. Those are places like Panama City and over toward Eglin Air Force Base and Destin, Freeport. They saw a lot cooler temperatures. They had a lot of rain that flowed through the area throughout most of today. 71, a very cool 71 there in Valdosta. They're dealing with that rain-cooled air as well. A lot of moisture to work with right now. Dew point values, we're seeing 70s all across the area, 74. A lot of onshore flow coming up off the Gulf of Mexico, keeping a lot of moisture available right now across the Big Bend. Had some showers start to bubble up earlier, but they've stayed mainly off to the north and east. We've had that shower move through around lunchtime there to the south, and then a lot more shower and thunderstorm activity off to the west down I-10 toward the Phoenix Springs. This will continue to die off as we go into those evening hours. There's a bigger picture of that. A lot of showers to work with. As we look into the forecast over into tonight, look how the shower and thunderstorm activity really dies off. But then as we go into the afternoon, we start to have some showers and thunderstorms. That daytime heating start to develop there. We saw that shower go near Tallahassee. But those aren't exact placements, so you got to watch that. That's just kind of a generalization of what's going to happen. We'll have to watch that as we go into tomorrow. 72, we'll start to have some clouds that will start to clear out though. So those temperatures will drop into the lower 70s, very calm winds there. Can't rule out the possibility of a stray shower or thunderstorm filtering through the area as we start to plan our day for tomorrow. Taking the dog out for a walk early, 73, very pleasant there, but then lunchtime, I don't know if we want to be out on the patio there. 82, stray shower, thunderstorm possible, rolling through the capital city, going to the afternoon. Those chances will increase as we get toward that end of that work day there. Wow, 7-day forecast there. We got the shower and thunderstorm activity that we'll see over the next several days. Those temperatures, though, sitting in the upper 80s and then low 90s possibly for the weekend as we start to look at Father's Day. If you're going to have, do a little cookout with Dad, I'm not sure. We'll have to watch that. It's not going to be a complete washout, but you want to keep an eye on those sorts of things as we'll be there at 90 degrees. It'll be hit and miss, really, so you might want to take care of those Father's Day plans earlier in the day. As we go into next week though, we'll kind of a repeat picture of what we've seen for this week, and now we're going to take things out to the southeast. Let's throw it over to Jake.
All right, thank you, Colby. I'm still personally holding out a little bit of hope that we could see a little bit of drying, although it's beginning to get a little bit less likely that we'll be seeing that this weekend. I'll break down a little bit of why we could be looking at something along those lines pretty soon, even those rain chances dropping down just a bit. As for the southeast, largely the same pictures we're seeing around Tallahassee. Spotty showers and thunderstorms, that heat and humidity hanging around pretty much everywhere, except for a little spot in the Carolinas, which we'll talk about in just a sec. 86 degrees in Tallahassee, 93 over in Shreveport under partly cloudy skies right about now, just past 6 o'clock here. The dew points, 60s and 70s everywhere across the board. 69 in Montgomery as well as Atlanta, up at 73 degrees in Jacksonville, so that humidity is still hanging around. Really a stagnant air mass that's been over our area for the last week or so, contributing to those afternoon showers and thunderstorms, which you see here on the satellite and radar. We actually had one of these storms go severe just to the east of Orlando a little while ago over towards Seminole and Orange counties, but that has since expired. Some of these storms around the area are going to be a little bit strong, on the strong side. Could see some strong winds associated with those, and of course lightning is the big deal as well as the heavy rainfall. in these largely hit or miss, what we'll call garden variety showers and thunderstorms. For the futurecast, not really seeing too much at night, all that convection sort of dying out, but once we get into the daytime tomorrow, the cycle essentially repeats itself. Although, again, we're starting to look at a little bit of drying up in the Carolinas, which is what I've been kind of alluding to here. We had a backdoor cold front come through that area in the last day or two, and it's trying to creep its way down towards our area. We're not optimistic that it's going to be making its way all the way down, which is why we're dropping the rain chances just a little bit for the weekend, but we should still expect to see some activity really through the next week, as that doesn't quite get its way through and bring drier air into our region. As far as the tropics are concerned, we are tracking a pretty weak disturbance in the Caribbean right now, only a 20% chance of development in the next 5 days, but this will increase rain chances going into the weekend and early next week, especially in the northwestern Gulf Coast up towards, say, the Houston areas, parts of Texas, Louisiana. Here's that rainfall potential about 7 days out here, and again, this bullseye right along the Texas coastline from, say, just west of Lake Charles all the way down towards Corpus Christi in that general vicinity. So rain and moisture being the big story there, although again, we're not expecting much in terms of any kind of tropical development with this system, still highlighted by the Hurricane Center. As far as tonight's temperatures are concerned, 71 degrees in Tallahassee, 70 in Montgomery, 72 in Little Rock. Scattered showers and thunderstorms sticking around early in the nighttime hours. And as for tomorrow, pretty much the same story. Could see a little bit more sunshine in parts of Louisiana, with Shreveport once again getting up towards 93 degrees. So now we're going to zoom things out nationally with Dylan.
Yeah, thank you very much, Jake. We're going to take a look at the national look, and right now it is currently hot in the west. That's the typical trend we're seeing. Hot parts in the Midwest, cooler in the southeast, but cooler in the northeast as well. So seeing a wide range of temperatures, though the west coast definitely looks like the better place to be for a summertime, down into the 60s and 70s. And as we look at the radar, mostly clear in the Midwest, though you see some pop-up showers really pick up in the last hour or two over in Colorado and New Mexico and parts of North Texas. They're currently under a severe thunderstorm watch right now, just issued recently. Down in the southeast, though, you see all those pop-up showers Jake was talking about just picking up, and there are some strong ones out there, as Jake mentioned, in Orlando and some parts of the southeast, seeing some strong showers. There is a nice line of showers over in Kentucky or Indiana right now firing up, so that's cool. But look at our active alerts. We have an excessive heat warning down in parts of Arizona, California, and Nevada. This is the darker purple down here. And as we look more, there are some fire watches and warnings. This is a fire warning right here in parts of Utah, down into parts of Colorado. You do have that fire weather watch. That's due to all that drought. We'll look at that a little bit on in the segment, but we're going to see some possible improvements. And off the coast of California, though, you do have a small craft advisory by these lighter purples, but that dark purple is actually a gale watch, which are some very severe winds. So if you are off the coast or near the beach, you're going to see some strong winds there to impact you. But something a lot of people have been talking about is Hurricane Bud off in the Pacific. Currently a Category 3 storm, supposed to downgrade to a tropical storm, but as that goes on through Thursday, you're going to see it move up and into Mexico and into the U.S., parts of Arizona by Sunday. And with that, you're actually going to see some rain coming into parts of that, up to 1.5 inches of rain for parts of Arizona and a little bit of New Mexico, but nothing too bad. But this is supposed to definitely help the drought situation. Look at this. They're still under a severe drought and an exceptional drought and extreme drought all throughout parts of the western United States. The new advisory will come out on Thursday, but the rainfall from Hurricane Bud will not be taken into impact since it's not supposed to impact them until Saturday into Sunday and Monday. So by the next week, you're going to actually see some improvement probably in these chances. For tonight, though, cool around the southeast and cooler around the west coast, and they're definitely cooling off in Albuquerque down to 70 degrees. Seattle, a brisk 52 degrees. Might need a jacket for them. Nothing too bad, though. Nowhere in the 80s throughout the United States for tonight, so that's not too bad. And for tomorrow, you're going to see, again, warmer temperatures in the places you've already seen warmer temperatures. Not too much of a change. 96 again in Albuquerque. Los Angeles back into the 70s. And then for the southeast, back into the 80s as well. Just typical trends, trying to crack the 90s there. But to take a look at one state in particular, Florida. Jake, hey.
Hey Dylan, thank you a lot. Here we have our time lapse from St. George Island showing you what was pretty much a textbook summertime Florida day here. You see that partly cloudy skies working their way in through the afternoon hours, trying to get some storms bubbling up off the coast. You saw those cumulus clouds firing up over the open waters, but not really too much going on in areas of Franklin County, at least in the afternoon hours. They had some stronger storms earlier in the day, which was a bit of an early start to our typical summertime convection. That has actually been dying off throughout most of the panhandle in the last few hours, so a bit of an accelerated timeline throughout much of the state. However, the central part, I-4 corridor, especially from Tampa all the way up through Orlando and Daytona Beach, that's where the brunt of the action is right now. It's some pretty serious lightning over by the Space Coast, Cape Canaveral, areas like that. Cocoa Beach really getting in on some of that action as we approach 6:30 in the Sunshine State. And with a lot of these drier conditions across the southern part of the state, we're seeing a lot of heating in areas like Fort Myers up towards Port Charlotte, where they're getting in excess of 90 degrees in some spots, partly cloudy skies. Pensacola at 78 under some sunshine right now, but you see some of those rain-cooled spots as well, like Jacksonville and Orlando, that are not even above the 80-degree point at this hour. The mugginess is still there, and that's really not going to be going away, especially for the peninsula, for really the next 4 to 5 months or so. So I don't expect to see any dew points below, say, the 65-degree point anytime soon. 72 in Orlando right now, and with a lot of this rainfall we've been experiencing over the last couple of weeks, that drought situation for the state has been pretty much wiped out entirely. This is the second straight week where Florida has had absolutely no drought, which is a very welcome sight considering where we were a little bit earlier this year. As for the futurecasts, again, pretty much your run-of-the-mill setup with afternoon thunderstorms really getting going during the day tomorrow, although we could see a bit of a dry slot along, say, the west central portion of the state. Not quite as much cloud cover as we're expecting to see in the models in parts of southern Florida, say, south of about the Fort Pierce, Port St. Lucie areas. For tonight's forecast, 70s across the entire state with spotty thunderstorms possible in the early evening hours. 75 in Tampa, 73 degrees in Fort Myers, thankfully cooling down from the heat index near 100 that they've been seeing. And Miami at 78 degrees under partly cloudy skies. And as for tomorrow, 80s and 90s across the board once again. A little bit cooler in the southeastern part of the state where the cloud cover is expected to be just a little bit higher. 83 degrees with scattered thunderstorms possible in West Palm Beach. So now to finally take things home, here's Michael.
Thanks, Jake. And let's take a look at our time lapse from today. You can see how we had those blue skies in the morning. Very nice outside, especially for me. I went out to the golf course, took advantage of those cooler conditions. You saw the clouds build up as we go into the afternoon. And as we head into the evening hours, those clouds are starting to die down, and you're getting the sun out just in time for sunset. Currently, it is 86 degrees. The airport is reporting scattered thunderstorms in the region, but those are dying down, as you'll see by satellite and radar in just a little bit. Temperatures across the region, you have 70 in Valdosta just because they got a thunderstorm just moved through, so that's a rain-cooled 70. 86 up towards Bainbridge. They got up into the 90s today because they didn't get any pop-up showers or thunderstorms up towards Bainbridge. Apalachicola, they had a lot of rain early in the morning, so as a result, they're cooler at 81 degrees. Dew points, very tropical outside. That's how it's going to be, as Jake said, for the next 5 months here in Florida and the southeast. 72 up towards Thomasville. 69 is our low dew point here in the region for Valdosta. Satellite and radar shows you how those storms are starting to die out. You see all the rain up towards Valdosta. That's why they're in the 70s. But as you go into Tallahassee and Westwood, it's looking pretty nice right now. A nice evening drive. You want to go down I-10 west into Panama City and into Pensacola. Futurecast does show you how these thunderstorms die out as we head into the night. A nice morning. If you want to do any plans, the morning is the best time during the summertime. Then the storms pop up in the afternoon from the sea breeze and from those outflow boundaries from other storms, producing more storms. So similar pattern for every day here in the summertime for Florida. The beach forecast, we have an 11 on the UV index scale, a 10 actually, and the showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon, temperatures in the low to mid 80s. If you get the thunderstorms earlier, you will probably get closer to earlier, you get, stay in the 80s. If you get more sunshine, you'll be closer to 90. And the water is warm for summertime, 81 degrees. For tonight's forecast, very muggy, and you'll get some morning fog due to those shower activity, bringing in some extra humidity. 71 here in Tallahassee, 73 down towards Apalachicola. Pretty typical summer night. And tomorrow, almost 90. If you get more sunshine, you'll get closer to 90. If you get the showers and thunderstorms earlier, you'll be closer to around 80. So 85 here in St. Mark's, 89 up towards Thomasville, and same for Bainbridge. Now for the 7-day forecast, the typical summer pattern continues. 50-50 shots, 60% chance on Thursday. As we head into the weekend, those rain chances start to drop a little bit, and we are looking maybe a little bit drying as we head into next week. Don't forget us to follow us on all of our social media platforms. But for all of us here at FSU Weather, have a great evening, and we'll see you tomorrow.